Hey everyone, it's Monica. Welcome back to Homeschool Voices. In today's video, we're going to talk about the American public school system and how it cannot manage to teach kids to read. I know that was harsh, but the average American is literally reading at an 8th grade level, and that's just not acceptable because reading is the foundation of everything. Reading is what makes it possible to really learn things in depth. And just being able to read is not enough. You actually have to have a large vocabulary. You have to be a fluent reader, which requires a lot of practice, and this is why I advocate for a literature-based education. And this is not something that you're likely to get in your local public school. What you're going to get is actually very different. In fact, the way that reading is taught in most public schools is enough to make anybody a homeschooler. When I was young, the big debate was between phonics and whole word instruction. So if you wanted to teach your kid how to read the word cat, if you were a phonics person, you would say, look, C says k, A says ah, T says t, k, ah, t, k, ah, t, cat, cat. Look, we figured it out. Good job, kid. And if you're a whole word person, you would just show them the word cat on a flashcard and say, memorize it. That says cat. And, you know, kids can do that. And I always thought it was a funny distinction. It's always one or the other. In reality, it seems like there should be a little bit of both happening. And the older I get, I realize that you have to have the phonics part, though. That's not optional. To tell you the truth, the whole word part is sort of optional in a way. I mean, I think kids just sort of naturally start doing it. But the phonics part is not optional because when kids encounter words that they are unfamiliar with, they need to have the tools and the knowledge necessary to sound that word out with confidence and know that they are saying it correctly. I am always talking to people, and I've been really surprised to find out that where I live, the most popular method is whole word instruction with little to no phonics instruction. Around here, there is little to no instruction in phonics, so a kid might learn some of the basics, just the basic letter sounds of the consonants, the basic sounds of the vowels, but they don't learn any of the vowel blends, the consonant blends, rules about open and closed syllables, things like that. They give kids pages and pages and pages of words to memorize, probably hundreds of words. So the kids they memorize a lot of these words, but there are thousands of words in the English language at least. And those kids are going to encounter eventually words that they don't know. And what do you think that teachers tell kids to do when they encounter words that they don't know? There are a few different things that teachers do, and I'm not making this up. I'm going to show you an example. But one thing that they tell kids to do is to look at the first letter and figure it out based on context. So if it says C, and it's a book about cats, maybe the word says cat. Yeah, I'm not kidding. Like, they actually do this to kids. I mean, they could tell them that the A says ah, the T says ch, but no, we're gonna guess because that's actually a valid approach in the public school system. Another approach that teachers often use is to tell children to look at the pictures in the book and use that to help them guess. I kid you not. In fact, that there's actually reading programs where they will have really simple sentences where the kids have memorized all the 3 or 4 words in the sentence, and then the last word is a new word that they haven't memorized yet, and then there's a picture. So it is a caterpillar. So caterpillar would be the new word. It is are all words that the children would have memorized. So of course they can guess the word caterpillar. Well, you can guess in real life that this is just not going to cut it. Usually you do not have that easy of a time guessing words from pictures in your books, if you're lucky enough to have a picture in your book. Another technique that a lot of teachers will tell kids is to just sort of guess from context. You see if it makes sense. You know, it doesn't make sense. Well, maybe that's not the word. But my favorite, guys, my favorite technique, this is like an actual technique that they teach teachers to teach children, is to just skip the word. Just skip it. You're too dumb to figure it out. It's so complicated, so complex that we couldn't even possibly teach you because you're just so dumb that we can't do it. Just skip the word. That's literally a technique that they teach children. If that doesn't make your head want to explode and yank your kid out of the local public school, then I can't help. I can't help. I don't know what to do. Because to me, that is so outrageous. It's actually criminal. I cannot believe that anyone would teach that to children instead of actually teaching them the phonics to sound out a word. So there's actually whole programs devised around this. Check out this video if you think I'm lying.
Context clues. What are context clues? Context clues are clues or hints that readers use to find the meaning of unknown words. We can find clues to a word we don't know or don't understand in many different ways. We can find clues in pictures. We can also find them in sentences, such as definitions, examples, synonyms, or antonyms. So let's see how we can use pictures to give us clues to the meaning of a word. There are many craters on the moon. If you don't know what the word crater means, you might look at this picture of the moon and guess that it is these round circles on the moon.
So what's a parent to do? First off, homeschool them if you can. And you know what? Even if you can't, that's okay. I'm going to give you the same instructions that I would give to a parent who's homeschooling their kids. So follow the same instructions if your kid's in public school, because they're probably totally doing a terrible job. Your kid will be like basically reading, but they'll be struggling for years. So you have to follow my advice here. One book is called The Ordinary Parent's Guide to Teaching Reading. And the other book is called Teach Your Child to Read in 10 Easy Lessons. So get one of those books. By the time your child is halfway through the book, they'll be reading pretty well. But the books focus on teaching phonics, and just go through those books. And even if you don't get all the way through, you also want to get the book called The Logic of English for you, the teacher, the parent, so you can learn. And even if you don't go through the entire book of either of those books, you can bit by bit teach your child other phonics lessons that you notice, like when they are not able to send out certain words, you can recognize, oh, they don't know this rule yet, and just teach them. Don't worry, it's not complicated. You do not need to pay anyone to do this. In fact, if you pay someone to do this, like say if you're a homeschooler and you're like gonna pay for a class, you can do that, go ahead, but you still have to sit down with your kids and you still have to teach your kids. Whether your kid is in a homeschool class or a public school, you have to sit down and take the time to teach your kids these rules, because they won't spend enough time in class to learn properly, and they're probably not learning them at all in public schools. So regardless, you have to learn these rules in the book called The Logic of English, and you still need to get those two books, The Ordinary Parent's Guide to Teaching Reading or Teach Your Child to Read in 100 Easy Lessons. One of those books. So get one of those two books and then The Logic of English, and just sit down with your kid every day for 10 to 20 minutes and work on it, and they're going to learn to read. It'll be magical. And then you won't have to tell your kids to do things like guess or skip the words. They'll actually have tools. It's not that hard. So I hope that was helpful. I hope if your kid is in public school, you're gonna yank them out today. If you like this video, please click thumbs up. If you wanna see more videos like this, please click subscribe and the notification bell next to it. In the meantime, happy homeschooling and have a great day.